Good morning once again. Welcome to Luxaflex product training by video conferencing. Today's session we're going to talk about our Photon 1 solar awning motor offer. Now the Photon 1, as I said, is a solar powered awning motor. It's used with our Evo and with our System 2000 pivot arm awnings. It combines cutting edge patented power management electronics with an integrated battery receiver which provides a simple and energy efficient motorization solution. The Photon 1 solar motor is powered by a 24-volt DC battery. Now this recharges obviously through the sun, so it means no wired electricity is needed to operate it. This reduces installation costs. There's no electrician required to install any of the components. It is simple plug and play low voltage setup. And as little as 2 to 3 hours of direct sunlight is all that can be required to charge the battery with enough power to give a couple of days operation. The battery is equipped with a charging current indicator LED. This is on the side of the unit and you can push it to see if the unit is charging correctly. The orange light will indicate that a charge of 15 to 29 milliamps is being received, and a green light will indicate that more than 30 milliamps is being received. The battery is enclosed in a water-resistant covering for a streamlined look, which helps protect all of the internal components from the weather. It has a built-in single-cell rechargeable battery for optimized battery life. This, combined with a solar panel having a compact and sleek design with the ability to tilt the panel to face the sun, means you can place the solar panel discreetly anywhere near the awning. And if you look at what's behind me here, you can see that we've installed an Evo here, and you can see the position that we've placed the battery pack and the solar panel slightly above that awning, essentially sitting on the fascia if it was a normal house. You are supplied a 3-meter power cable included with the Photon motor pack, and we're going to have a quick look at what comes in that pack shortly, but there are optional 5 and 10 meter power cable extensions. This will help extend the solar receiver's distance from the awning to take best advantage of the changing position relative to the sun. The motor can be operated with a platinum remote or a platinum wireless wall switch. Now this is all with built-in radio frequency using the HD platinum technology. Timer remote is also available. We have a timer remote available. This will allow you to have preset dates and times with which the awning will operate by. Now later in 2017, it is hoped that we will move to the Hunter Douglas PowerView technology system. So you will have the full functionality of everything that is PowerView to operate this Photon 1 solar motor. You can also connect this awning to a home automation system by using a dry contact. So on the side of your battery pack, you will actually have a dry contact port, and here you'll be receiving also that wiring which will connect into that dry contact port to be then wired into your home automation system. The motor also has a fabric tensioning feature. So you know Somfy has the Logia motor which is designed for fabric tensioning. The merger motor has that slight function as well. But the Photon 1 solar motor works really well if you want to have locking bolts, lock down the awning, and then take up some tension on the motor. So this will lock off nice and tight, and then the motor slightly releases just to protect the overtensioning or the fabric from overtensioning. The limits are set with manual screws. They're a manual limit setting motor. We're going to play some videos after we run through this bit of a spiel on features and benefits, and we'll go through how that is done with the manual setting tool. We really support quite large Evo sizes, so with the Photon 1 solar motor, you can have up to 15 square meters with an unweighted bottom bar, or you can have 11 square meters with a weighted bottom bar. Now, they are limited to a maximum width of 4 meters, but they're still quite large awnings, and they fall into the key area of most of our awning sizes that we make. Now, this is a fully serviceable system. When we designed the whole Photon 1 solar offer, it was important that we considered serviceability. So the solar panel, battery pack, and the motor are all separate components. So each element of the kit can be serviced or replaced individually if need be. Now, all of these components come with our Luxaflex 5-year warranty. Now, setting the optimum position for the solar panel. The location of the solar panel should be in direct sunlight for the longest period of the day. This will just ensure that the battery can be fully charged. It is possible to mount the solar unit on the front cover of the awning headbox, though this is generally the simplest installation, and it doesn't require any extension cables. It can make the removal of the front cover a little bit more complex. So just be mindful of that. And as I said previously, we've chosen to mount our solar panel above the awning headbox and up on the fascia. If mounting on the front cover is not possible due to the location of the awning, optional extension cables may be used. As I said, 3 metre is supplied as standard, but then you have a 5 and you have a 10 metre extension cable. And when you're looking for the best location for mounting the solar panel, try to make sure that you get it pointing north. That really does help ensure some year-round sun coverage. Now, there's a whole lot of options and accessories, and some of the documentation that'll be quite handy for you to access is now on Alfie, so alfie.hunterdouglas.com.au. Not just do we have programming videos and product information there, but a lot of the support documents and launch information is also there. So with options and accessories, as I said, you have the Platinum remote control. You have the timer remote. You have a wireless wall switch. You have a 3, a 5, and a 10 metre cable. Now, this information, as I said, is one of the support documents that's housed on Alfie under awnings, motorisation, and then support documents. You'll also see a technical data sheet there as well. So it'll give you all the physical dimensions and the capabilities of the awning motor. So it'll tell you the motor length. It'll tell you the actual cable length that comes with the motor. It'll tell you the torque settings, the RPM, obviously the voltage, the ampage, and all those sort of things. It tells you the run time, which is approximately 4 minutes, and it talks about maximum blade sizes as well. Another really good document that you'll find now on alfie.hunterdouglas.com.au is the flowchart for programming the Photon 1 solar motor. As I said, the videos are there. We're going to run through them shortly, but Jess Donoghue has now done some fantastic flowcharts that will help you work through the process step by step. So that flowchart is also on that alfie.hunterdouglas.com.au. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to run through some videos, but before we do that, just point out what we've installed behind us here is an Evo STC with the Photon 1 solar motor set up with the panel, with the battery pack, all connected and operating. We've just set it up in one of our new hardware colours in Chardonnay, and then we've got it matched to our new Chardonnay Everview Plus fabric as well. Obviously here we've left the headbox off so that we can see the motor head and we can look at those points where you set those manual limits. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run through the videos, okay? alfie.hunterdouglas.com.au is your go-to point for any information or programming documentation that you need. We're going to play 3 videos for you here. So we're going to share these videos through Blue Jeans, and I'm actually going to hand over to Ramses. Ramses will come up and just talk in between the videos just to point out anything that that may be worth emphasising. And if you've got any comments or questions, as I said, please flick them through via that chat balloon as well. So Trev, when you're ready, we'll start sharing that pairing the remote video, and I'll get Ram.
Photon 1 Solar, pairing the remote. Install and connect the solar panel and battery as required. Press the P programming button on the battery receiver unit. This will send the awning down. Allow the awning to travel about 500 millimeters from the top and press the programming button again to stop the position. This will stop the awning from travelling beyond its top limit prior to the limits being set. Pairing the remote. The next steps must be completed in less than 8 seconds. Press and hold the programming button on the battery receiver unit. While still holding the program button, select the channel on the remote control that you want the awning to operate on. Now, press and hold the up button. The awning will jog to indicate that it has paired with the remote control. Release the program button on the battery pack receiver. To remove a previous program channel, complete the same process as before. However, press the down button instead of up.
The first thing is, when you select the channel, you get a green light on the remote control. Now, you need to follow through the process. You've probably got roughly about 10 seconds. If the green light turns off, you'll need to repeat the process again. So what happens is, green light is on, that means you're going to pair it to channel number 1, for example. If the green light turns off, the pairing process won't go through. So just keep in mind, you've roughly got about a 5 to 10 second window to do that. The other thing to keep in mind as well is you actually need to have the solar panel plugged into the battery receiver kit, and this actually completes the whole circuit. So if you just plug the battery kit into the motor and try and pair the remote control or try to operate the awning, it won't actually work. The solar panel actually completes the circuit, so you need to have all 3 components plugged into each other.
Changing the motor direction. If the motor is mounted on the right-hand side, the motor direction will need to be changed to operate the awning. Select a channel that the awning is paired with. Press and hold the All button for 6 seconds. The LED indicator on the top of the remote will start flashing green. Point the remote at the programming IR located on the side of the battery pack receiver unit. Press and hold the up button on the remote. The awning will jog to indicate the direction has been changed. Press the All button on the remote to save the motor direction.
Just one note to keep in mind when changing the motor direction, or actually two, similar to pairing the remote control, again, you've got an open window, so you've roughly got between 5 to 10 seconds to do this process. The other thing to keep in mind is, because you're actually working through IR infrared and not RF, you need to have a certain distance between the remote control and the receiver unit. So ideally, you don't want to have the remote control more than 20 centimeters away from the receiver unit. An ideal situation, you'd probably have it about 10, 15 centimeters away at the max, no more than 20. But yeah, you need to have it quite close to the receiver because you're using infrared.
Setting the motor limits. The motor limits are set manually with the hex screw driver provided. The location side of the motor will determine whether the top or bottom limit screw on the motor head is used to adjust either the top or bottom limits. Insert the hex screwdriver and turn clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on whether the limit is to be raised or lowered. Check the limit with the remote and adjust again if required. Ensure when installing the motor that for easy adjustment the limit screws are facing forward. With a right-hand motor under roll, the bottom screw sets the top limit. The top screw sets the bottom limit. With a right-hand motor over roll, the bottom screw sets the bottom limit and the top screw sets the top limit. A left-hand motor is the reverse of this. Home automation is supported via the use of the dry contact port located on the side of the battery pack receiver.
This is exactly the same concept when we talk about setting limits, as example, a Somfy switch, a Hunter Douglas switch, or a merger switch motor, where you've got the two screws and you use an Allen key just to set the top and bottom limits. It's exactly the same concept and exactly the same way to set the limits. So just keep that in mind. Nothing changes. It's the same across all switch motors or mechanical switch motors.
All right, guys. So that's thanks, Ramses. That's the programming videos that we've made and we've produced, and we put them on Alfie. Pairing the remote, changing motor direction, then setting the limits. So they're the 3 videos that are there. It's a really simple, quick product to set up and to program. Just a matter of using, obviously, the right manual setting limit to actually adjust the top or the bottom limit. So as Ramses said, this one here, we set this up. The remote is here. Obviously, there's power in the battery from get-go. So obviously, You know, this has come straight out of the box when we installed it, and obviously it operates straight away. So when the installer does actually install the product, he's able to operate it straight away because the battery has already got some pre-charge in it. All right, guys, that's the end of this session, the Photon 1 solar motor. We'll be covering off PowerView for Evo a little bit later. All right, guys, thanks for joining us.